Hey! It's so good to be here. This is our very first Stop Your Whining video.
So we wanted to come together and do something a little bit fun for the collective since the energy has been so heavy. So me and this is Sarah, I'm Christina and this is Sara, and we're going to be putting together a once a week collaboration on wine and astrology.
I'm Sarah. I'm an astrologer.
And I'm Christina. I'm a hypnotherapist and a sound therapist. And we're going to be putting together some fun spiritual stuff with wine. Why not?
Why not? Wow, wine of the week. Wow. And, this is a great place to start, right? Because there's this stigma around, oh, well, if you drink wine, you're not spiritual, or that's not spiritual. And that could actually be far from the truth. I've seen and been mentored by Indonesian monks, and a lot of them smoke cigarettes. And, we're here on this earth. It's a dual world. So there's literally going to be a full range of expressions in all forms.
So it means you can still have wine if you want, but if you don't want to drink wine while you watch the show, please feel free to get out a tea or bubble water or anything else that you like to drink, kombucha, so that you can share with us. Cheers.
Cheers.
We just want to make this something fun and exciting. So I thought this would be fun to go through maybe a weekly astrological by Sarah, and then I can do some type of meditation or guided questions just so that we can really feel the energy. I tend to do a lot of stuff with subconscious programming, subconscious mind, or dehypnotizing yourself, which basically means that we're in a constant state of hypnosis all the time, the way we came into this world, and we want to start to deprogram ourselves or dehypnotize ourselves so that we can be more in a place of receiving and manifesting, and basically stop our whining and start manifesting the things we desire. So yeah.
100%. And this brings me to say, when I teach astrology, I like to teach it from a non-dual perspective, because ultimately your birth chart shows you who you are in this lifetime here right now. Your birth chart shows the character or the avatar of who you are playing here in this physical reality. And so we live on this 3D earth plane where there's higher expressions of emotions and lower expressions of emotions. And emotions, they're also tied into your subconscious and your belief system, which is also what influences how you act on this earth plane.
So basically when we do this, we're going to be giving an astrological report, right? So they can kind of see where the energy's at, or you can see where you are in your life right now, and then some type of action or guidance so that you can start.
Exactly. And the first place we want to start is, how do we understand it? How do we make sense of this all? Because we are, not only we're multidimensional, infinite beings, we're sitting here inside of a human vessel, a temporary human vessel. And so what comes with that is our logical mind. And the logical mind is afraid of the unknown. And our egos and your subconscious beliefs, they're afraid of the unknown. They want to have the known, meaning they want to be able to wrap their heads around something and make sense of something. And astrology is an amazing tool that can help you with that. Make sense of what's going on with the planets and the communications between the planets and all the energies at play right now, to be able to help you to better understand what's going on as it pertains to your own chart, and help you ultimately make better choices and be more conscious, right? Because conscious awareness is 80% of the battle, basically.
Right. So that's great, because then we have the astrology that will show that, and then we can work on some ways to become more conscious or become more aware through using some different types of, probably be something different each time we'll do with a little bit of meditation or hypnosis. But that, and we also want to show you too how you can kind of, I think both me and Sarah agree with this, is attract the things you want by seeing the things that are happening around you and the signs. I think one of the reasons too incorporating the wine is fun is we're going to show you some of the wines we pick based off of just going about our lives and just grabbing things that we enjoy or that we're drawn to or called to, whether it's wine or tarot cards, or if there's a certain drink you like to drink. because the wine we picked today, we're going to show you, it has a cow on it. And what did the cow mean for?
The cow is actually a really beautiful symbol. So animals bring a lot of medicine to them. But the cow symbolizes motherhood, maternal energy, nurturing. It's an earth energy, so it's a very grounded energy. The earth is actually our mother. The earth holds us. We came from the earth, and when we pass, our physical bodies go with the earth.
And you said there was a lot of feminine energy in astrology right now, so how fitting. Okay, so do you want to give us a little report on kind of what's happening within the planets, or what's going on with the stars right now?
It would be my pleasure,
Okay.
because collectively
it's been a little.
It's been a lot. It's been a roller coaster. If you've ever been to SeaWorld. So there's a lot that's been going on in the sky. We've undergone some major astrological transits. We went through an Aries solar eclipse in April. We went through, after that, a Scorpio solar eclipse. And when we talk about eclipses, we're talking about the nodes. Where are the nodes? And the nodes, they're astrological calculations in the sky based on points of the moon's orbit around the earth. So they're not actual planets, but they hold a lot of weight in how they influence us, because they represent our destiny, fated events that we have no control over. Although sometimes it might feel like we're driving the ship, we have absolutely no control over. We do have free will, but there's certain things in life that there's divine intervention, right?
Right.
And then we have the South Node, which are events that are related to past karma and things that we need to let go of and release. So here we have this theme again with polar opposites. And in addition to that, we have the outer planets that have made some shifts. Saturn, the planet of karma, the planet of hard work, the taskmaster, that shifted into Pisces. It was in Aquarius for about 2.5 years. And this in and of itself is another discussion piece, but just briefly here, there's going to be a lot of shifts in this physical reality because Saturn's an earth energy primarily. It rules Capricorn. So we're going to see things more in our physical reality. Pisces is an ethereal sign, represents the spiritual realms, non-duality, interconnectedness, oneness. So there's going to be a lot more of that manifesting. That is definitely something that I could cover in one video in itself. There's just so much. And then we have another transit. Pluto has been back and forth in the sky between Capricorn and Aquarius because it's been retrograding.
So let's kind of give them then, since you said there's a lot we could talk about on this, let's give them like for today, since today's the week of the 11th or the 12th, what's kind of happening right in this moment, I guess, would be the question.
In this moment, what's really going on with Pluto retrograding back into Capricorn. So Pluto made its transit into Aquarius in June, which is, once it stays there, it's going to be a major transit. It's going to stay there for over 20 years, and it's going to be life-changing. We've already seen these energies start to play out in our physical realities because Aquarius rules technology. It's ruled by the planet Uranus. And so that's why you've seen a lot of AI and technologies continue to grow at tremendous speeds and have an impact on our lives for better and for worse. But it retrograded into Capricorn, where it's been since 2008. And Capricorn, ruled by Saturn, is an earth sign. And Saturn represents, it's a planet of karma. So it is a challenging, it's called a malefic planet because it brings a lot of challenges and maladies, and it's not fun, but it's a long-term planet of great rewards and wisdom and strength if we do what Saturn wants, which is hard work, diligence, consistency, all the earth qualities.
So people were getting a little more relaxed in Aquarius, right? Because it's kind of bringing things back down, and then now you go back into Capricorn, which is all structure, so it can feel very, I think for me, myself, it's like jarring this past couple of days. I don't know, that's how I've been feeling.
Absolutely.
But it's like, oh my God, everything's structured. I need to get everything done, or I need to be accomplishing things, and why isn't this working? And it feels very overwhelming. So I don't know if people out there are feeling that or experiencing it, but
that is definitely something that's been going on collectively, because you're absolutely right that Capricorn is more restrictive and more rigid, and it's in its lower expressions. Aquarius is more fun-loving. It's an air sign. It's a social sign. It rules the house of friendships.
Wants to have a good time.
Absolutely.
Wants to have the wine.
Cheers to that.
It doesn't want to be so structured in everything it does. So that's been a little tough, right? Going from those two energies, probably, in Pluto.
100%, because Pluto is an outer planet. It's also called a generational planet. And when we have those planets move and make transits, they're massive. They're felt massively among the collective, because they don't move very often, and they're also very powerful. Because see, the inner planets like Mars, Venus, Mercury, the Sun, the Moon, we call those planets as well, although they're luminary bodies, they have more of an impact on the day-to-day, the minute, and the mundane. So, there's a tendency to be used to that because we're constantly feeling that every day, and it's constantly shifting quicker. So with Pluto going back into Capricorn, which rules structures and systems, the foundation, and here living in the United States, it also represents secrets. So it's bringing all the things that are buried, that are not working, that are not in alignment, to be revealed, and they're crumbling, because Pluto also...
We have a lot of old systems with everything.
Absolutely. And this has been a very long transit of, it makes me think about, because Capricorn's a very traditional energy of what's worked, what's tried and true, that's worked time and time and time again, which these are things to embrace, but we also need to look at what are things that we can be more open-minded, Aquarius, and let go of what's not been working, regardless of how comfortable we've gotten, because earth signs represent a lot of comfort.
So how long do we have this Pluto in Capricorn, and it's like a month or so, I think, or?
It is going to shift back in Aquarius in November, I believe.
Oh, wow.
Or no, July of next year, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got a lot of this energy. So, okay, so we have that, and then anything else right now with the sun and the... where's the sun right at this?
The sun is in Gemini right now, and the sun shifts every month, so it's not as jarring on the collective as a transit like Pluto is. But the only other major shift that we have, it's coming up actually next month in July. The nodes are shifting.
Okay, so when we get to July, we'll talk about that, because that's
huge.
Because right now our nodes are what are they?
Taurus and Scorpio.
Okay.
They stay in a year and a half. The nodes.
Okay. So you want to tell people a little bit about what that means for what the nodes create for us or do for us, or how they affect us, because that's a pretty big placement for purpose, and maybe even people have been wanting to step more into their purpose, and they're kind of having a hard time figuring that out or knowing what they should do next.
Yes, so the nodes are actually very important, because as we're infinite, multidimensional beings, there's an infinite number of energies that are constantly at play on the day-to-day, right? If you think about it. That's why life can get overwhelming sometimes. But when we talk about the nodes, there's an underlying energy that is playing out for a year and a half, so 18 months. And the nodes represent our destiny, the North Node. They're always polar opposites. So you have the North Node and the South Node. And the North Node are things that our souls want to propel us into. So destiny. So fate and destiny, that's also another topic that we can talk about in another video, because I know there's a lot of confusion around the difference between the two. But fated events are more surrounding the South Node, which are things we want to let go of, past karma, things that we have been doing over and over for lifetimes after lifetimes.
That are not working.
Right.
Well, it's the definition of insanity, doing something over and over and expecting different results.
Exactly. And history repeats itself, so the nodes shifting, this is going to be huge, because this theme right now of the nodes being in Taurus and Scorpio, and there's so many themes to talk about when we talk about the nodes. This is 18 months of energy.
So what's Taurus energy as far as that goes in the North? It's in the North Node?
Yes.
So how does that kind of affect us?
So although the North Node, is it could be seen as more of something that's positive or in the higher expression. We always have to keep in the forefront of our minds with anything, especially when we're talking about astrology and events and predictions and all kinds of things of that nature. We want to always keep in mind that we live in a dual world. So even though the North Node is, generally looked at as a positive influence, because this is like, okay, where does my soul want to go? Mm-hmm. What's my destiny? What's going to propel me into my destiny? This is going to be for better and for worse, meaning there's lower expressions of this energy, but ultimately there's never anything negative. Even these negative lower expressions of energy from the North Node are going to propel us into the higher expressions of our soul.
What are some of these that we have right now at Taurus, like the lower expressions that we're dealing with?
So some of the lower expressions would be a lot of issues with the supply chain in food, prices. This is our sustenance. Taurus is an earth energy. It represents our sustenance, and it's ruled by Venus. It's ruled by pleasures. It's ruled by comfort, stability, things that we need to survive here on earth.
So that's why it's shaking up a lot of things that we've been feeling comfortable in and trying to draw us out into uncomfortable places that aren't so much fun lately.
Exactly. And, speaking of which, we had, Uranus sitting next to the North Node in Taurus for quite a long time, and Uranus represents shakeups, unpredictability, instability. So another manifestation of this would be earthquakes. We've seen a lot of earthquakes around the world, literally shaking up the earth.
So people just feeling unstable is too probably part of this, like just feeling like they're not stable in their lives or in relationships or in jobs or places of, right?
Mm-hmm, absolutely. This can be, again, we live in an infinite, multi-dimensional reality, whether we're in a physical body or not. This is just who we are. And so there's always higher expressions and lower expressions playing out. There's an infinite number of realities happening at the same time.
Okay, cool. So let's pull a card. Let's see what everybody's feeling lately, or what everybody needs to know, or what we can work through, because we're going to do a little bit of that. I had some questions here that I had written down because I've been doing a lot of meditation lately, needing to do a little more.
We also have a special guest who has wanted to say hi. She's a Leo sun.
Hi, Nora. Thank you for joining us. Do you want to pull the card for everyone? Look what this is. Exchanging gifts. Lots of blessings. You were talking about this the other day. You kept talking about everyone getting their blessings, getting gifts coming in. I think it's just going to be a minute before that happens, because I think we're still letting go of some of, again, subconscious beliefs, subconscious programming, whether we feel like we deserve things or we feel like we're enough, and I think that's been coming up huge for people, is really stepping into the power of what they do deserve and knowing that they do deserve to have the things they want. So I feel like there's this kind of like slowing down period right now too with everyone to kind of sit with those beliefs, so that you can, when you do receive the gifts or you do have the blessings, because sometimes even when blessings come to us, we don't necessarily think we're ready for them, and that's what kind of pushes them away or doesn't allow them in, including relationships or jobs. If we don't think we're ready for them, the blessing could already be there, but we won't actually receive it unless we feel like we're in the place to receive it, we're worthy of it, we're deserving of it. So that I feel like has been coming a lot, myself included, with blessings, wanting blessings, knowing that they're coming, having the faith, which is hard, but also knowing that I think some of it too has to do with like feeling worthy and deserving of it enough. Maybe doubting ourselves a little bit.
And that's actually beautiful that you said that, because this is where the hypnosis comes in. Because, at the end of the day, we're always being bombarded with blessings and love and gifts and miracles from the universe. When we are not feeling that, we're not in a flow state.
To receive.
And we're blocking our own selves. And I know sometimes that can be triggering for people to hear with certain things in their lives that they're going through, and it's like, well, how can I be the one that's blocking this? This person hurt me, or this happened to me, or this happened to more balance too, because that's why they flow beautifully together. Because it's like, okay, yes, how can we work with the astrological transits and our own energies of our birth chart to heal ourselves inside and out, heal our belief systems inside and out?
Well, and you said a lot with the nodes and stuff shifting. right? Nodes are our purpose. Nodes are truly who we want to be, which not even who we want to be, but truly who we actually already are at our soul level, right? We've just forgotten it in these lifetimes, or even in this lifetime, and kind of the things we need to start believing in ourselves, or believing in what we want. Because I think that too has been a huge subconscious belief. And you even said something about there was a lot of subconscious stuff coming up with the last, because I was listening to this thing that actually said that some of the stuff that's coming up now is still, we forget those eclipses that happen, like in Aries and stuff.
So that's what's interesting between when we're talking about our subconscious belief systems and how can we heal them through hypnosis and tools like astrology and other healing modalities. It's really interesting why astrology is one of my favorite tools, one of my favorite languages of the many infinite languages of the universe, is because when we have transits, everyone's birth chart is their own unique fingerprint, right? But transits affect everyone collectively. And really, we're all one. We're all interconnected. Your birth chart, your unique fingerprint, really all it is the lens in which you see through your own perspective of this experience that you're having in this physical body, right?
Right.
So when we have transits, we look at what energies are at play collectively and also individually, but from a collective level, we're all going through the same transits, which I find through my experience as an astrologer and just through life, they primarily impact our core wounds, which goes back to what you were saying, which is worthiness and receive, because that's really what's blocking us from receiving blessings.
And all those core wounds start when we're younger. They start from the ages of 1 to 7. They say before 10, but most of it's 1 to 7, because you've now observed the world through whatever you've been programmed to believe, right? Like you watch your parents, you watch the people around you. So if you're young and you don't have the vocabulary to kind of understand something or interpret it or say to your parents, like, I don't like this, which kids usually, they don't do. They scream or have tantrums, right? They don't actually have the vocabulary. It's ingrained in you, and then you carry that with you through. And this could even be lifetimes. It doesn't even have to be because you're younger. This could have been at your mom's womb, or it could be in past lives. And I think what's happening too now, because what you said with the Aquarius thing, the Pluto and Aquarius, is it's bringing up those aspects, because we're moving into more of a spiritual type instead of, like you said, structures crumbling. So think about that. Structures usually come from childhood. Value systems, your parents, what they taught you, their ancestrals, what they taught you. So I think with Pluto shifting, it had such a light on that. And now as you move into Aquarius, because you said Aquarius is more about what? Technology, spiritual stuff, right?
A spirituality from a technological standpoint. Yes, because it's a very humanitarian sign. Saturn in Pisces is really where you'll get more into the spiritual manifestations physically on the earth plane, because Pisces is the spiritual sign ruled by Neptune. It's a very blurry planet, and it blurs the boundaries between physical and
did
spiritual.
Saturn go back into someone said Pisces?
Saturn is in Pisces.
Yeah,
right now.
so then you get that right with it, which is kind of interesting, because I feel like a lot of that's coming up. So
absolutely, and this also goes back to, although astrology is what I primarily like to use as a spiritual tool and teach and share how it helps me as well with the collective, and Christina with hypnosis and sound healing and other healing modalities, we never want to get hung up on one specific tool. It is very easy. I've been guilty myself, as a human, because our logical mind wants answers. It doesn't like the unknown. It feels unsafe in the unknown. But we want to use these tools to give us clarity at the same time, and use our spirituality. So for example, is what Christina was saying, when you're growing up and you're developing your formative years, we can also look to the chakra system, your root chakra, because your other chakras, especially like your higher chakras, like your heart, where your heart is the bridge, right, between the lower chakras and the higher chakras, those don't even get developed till after 7.
Each chakra starts at an age range. Your root, like you said, you're exactly right, is 1 to 7. Your sacral chakra, you're in your 8 to 14. Your solar plexus, you're in your teen to your 20s, and it moves on and on and on. And what you're saying, it moves from your earthly to your spiritual, and then that can be based on where you are in a soul level or where you are in your development. So it all goes based on age, but it obviously can be deterred based on trauma or what you've been through too. So,
Exactly.
but yeah, there's so many different ways you can. I think that's the biggest piece too of what you're saying is like, don't get hung up on one thing. I do like what you're saying about that, because I think that's the other thing with the world nowadays is we get so set on following one thing, and it's like it's really all connected. Honestly, everything's connected. Astrology, hypnosis, Reiki, all of the spiritual practices, they're connected in some way, right? Because everything is connected. So don't get hung up on one thing, for sure. I think, too, take what resonates and leave the rest. So I want to do some of these questions for everyone to take a second to just... So let's do a little exercise, something that we can do with these energies. Like if you're feeling a certain way right now, if you're kind of a lot of questioning with things, maybe feeling stuck, maybe trying to figure out how to let go of some of these beliefs or subconscious programming, I want us just to like take a moment here. We're going to get comfy, we're going to sit, and we're going to close our eyes. And I know I make a funny face when I close my eyes, my third eye kind of, that's just part of who I am. So I've kind of just come to be. And when we're doing something like meditation or we're going within, I also think that it doesn't have to be where your mind's going to be quiet all the time. We've become so the need that everything has to be a certain way, and that's not true. So this is more for you and just to see what comes up and to be aware. So let's just close our eyes, and I want us to take a nice deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Good, let's do it again. Another nice deep breath in through the nose and just out through the mouth. And then I want you just to bring your pointer and your thumb together on your right hand and the pointer and the thumb together on the left hand. And let's just start to rub the fingertips together. And we're just starting to become aware of this sense of touch within the body. Just starting to maybe notice how this feels, if it's kind of cool or warm. Maybe there's this sensation of there being a roughness or a smoothness. Just start to be aware of your sense of touch. And then relax the hands, release them, let them fall in the lap. And I want you just to turn the awareness inward now to the inward part of your body, just like noticing the body. And I want you just to think about this question for yourself. Who do you want to be right now in this moment? Who do you want to be? And maybe it's someone that has more confidence or courage. Someone that feels they're enough. Someone that feels deserving or worthy. Maybe who you want to be is someone that's in a partnership or a CEO of a business or an entrepreneur. Whatever it is for you, there's no right or wrong. I want you just to notice who you want to be. And as you think about that, as you notice it, I want you to notice what is holding you back. What is keeping you from allowing yourself to be that at this time? What's the challenge? What's the resistance? And as you notice that, where do you feel it in your body when you think about that resistance? Just trust your first impression. And notice, how does it feel? How does it feel in the body? Is there a tightness, a heaviness, maybe something else? Stay with it. And just notice that feeling. Give it a color. Trust the first thing. Maybe you even give it a shape. Maybe it's just the color you're noticing or sensing or feeling. Just stay with it. And I want you just to imagine or sense or feel that color and that shape. Maybe it's just the color. And then just imagine it kind of floats outside of you. You can kind of stare down at it. You can kind of look at it with this observing energy. I want you to notice what this is doing here. What is it trying to show you or tell you? And maybe you don't know, that's okay. It's just the awareness of it. And maybe you can ask yourself what you need, or what you need to believe in having this life of who you want to be. So just take a moment with that. And like I said, no right or wrong, no expectation. It's just to start to spark the awareness within ourselves, within our body, the things we've held on to from the past, and to draw in some more of that awareness for what we're trying to create as we move forward. So when you're ready, you can just open your eyes and just take a moment.
Wow. I feel like I'm in another dimension.
Well, our body is, it talks to us, and it's okay if nothing came up. I'm sure everyone felt a little bit of something, but you don't have to feel the whole thing. This is just a great tool to start to be aware, like what Sarah's talking about when she talks about these energies coming up, and this is how astrology and hypnosis really do tie in together, is when we're like out in the world, even when the planets are going like in chaos or whatever around us, right? And you're like, okay, I don't know how to handle this, right? Because we're affected by the planets. We're made up of so much water. It's just to really become aware. And sometimes we might not be in a great state. It might be more of a state of frustration or resistance. But it's just to start to ask these questions so that we can shift it. We can change that perspective.
Exactly. And we want to release any judgment or any expectations. I've been guilty of it. It's like our logical mind wants to automatically go allude to, well, nothing happened, or I felt nothing, or I didn't have any visuals, or whatever the case may be in comparison to others' experiences. And really, this practice is meant to help you relax and help you get out of the mind, because what really is lacking is connection. That's really what we need, and connection with your soul. And when you're connected with your soul, it's not, sometimes it can feel like it's your mind, especially if you're really, clear cognizant, where, you get insights, but it's really just feeling that sense of connection and presence and being in the here and now.
Yeah, I love that. So this other card that I pulled earlier too was a leg up. So that's really great with the exchange of gifts. This little, you were saying connecting with your soul. I was also thinking connecting with other people too, right? Right now, how important that is, finding the people that give you that space, like we're doing for one another, and hopefully for all of you guys too. Just that space to be able to be your true self, to whatever that is, even whatever feeling you're feeling in the moment, right? And number 7 too, which is all about the heavens. And letting other people maybe help you at this time, or even checking in with that energy and noticing if that's something that you do allow yourself to do, is let other people be there to help you and support you. Because I think a lot with blessings,
it's also a gift,
right?
That in itself is a gift.
Yeah, and I think with blessings coming in is the more we do find community too, because isn't Aquarius a community?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
It's the sign of the humanitarian. Not only is it community, small communities, but on a grand scale, the earth, humanitarian for the collective.
So even looking at maybe our values in the past around community, and how that's looked in your life. I know for myself that was a big thing. Community was not, we were taught to be more independent, so that's been coming up a lot.
The wound, the collective wound of feeling like you have to fit in, to find community, to belong. That's a core wound.
And staying true to like yourself, which is sometimes we might not even know what is our truth or what we need in the moment. So this is a good way, dropping into your body to check in with that and ask yourself that. Anything else? I don't know.
There's always something else.
I know. I guess we should talk about our wine for a second that we picked.
Yes.
Stick to my pants. Stick to my pants. Okay.
The things that they don't tell you about dressing spiritual.
The things that they also don't tell you about recording videos. Okay.
The more flow it is, the more you'll trip.
So the wine that we are enjoying this evening, because I want to throw in a little bit of that. Let's have some fun. We started drinking rosés. We usually do a red, right? It's like more of our go-to.
Mm-hmm.
But we've kind of been switching over to rosés because we're in Florida and it's super hot outside. I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this right. Ming you said? Ming I hope I'm not butchering the name. A rosé from Austria. It's a dry sparkling. We like it. Are we rating it? Should we not?
No, we're not. This is not brand.
We're not brand.
Paid
We're just,
sponsorship.
This is more for just fun.
Yeah, this is just us, like normal people out there, drinking wine. And our experience is that, it tastes good. If you like rosé, if you like a pretty bubbly rosé, a little bit of the sweeter end.
We've been going more towards organic. We just found out, we said natural, but some guy just told us that there's a whole thing that if you're just drinking organic wine is the best. Okay.
Yes, so this concludes our very first episode of Why Not?
Stop Your Whining.
Stop Your Whining.
We haven't really decided our name yet, so if you guys want to comment, we could use some help with that too.
Yeah, take a vote.
Cheers. Thank you all for being here. But yeah, leave any comments, any questions. We'd love some topic ideas even, or anything you want us to talk about. Sarah has a full background in astrology. She has so much she can dive into. So if there's anything particular that you want to look at or focus on, and then anything with hypnotherapy or any beliefs you want to reprogram, we'll do some meditations. We'll have to do some fun stuff too. We need some fun ideas, but yeah.
Yeah, or anything, all things spiritual. We're here for it, and non-spiritual.
Yeah. But, and spirituality can be even wine and stuff too. Monks make beer, and
We smoke
Jesus
cigarettes.